Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Sherry and today we're going to be making something that sounds really fancy, looks really hard to make, but because it's Super Simple Saturday, it's actually very easy. Today we're going to be making a chicken cordon bleu stromboli. But before I get started, if this is your first time here, you love food, you love fun, you love super simple recipes, but most importantly, you love helping out a good cause, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell and check the description below for the details on how subscribing helps to feed the hungry. All right, so I'm excited today because we're going to be using puff pastry, and if you've been watching for any amount of time, you know I love puff pastry. Anytime I can put something in puff pastry, throw it in the oven, I am a happy girl. So this could be a 5-ingredient recipe also. All you need is your puff pastry, some chicken strips, Swiss cheese, ham, so some sliced ham, and then if you really want to make it easy, you can just do like a ranch dressing or something like that. I usually like to use like an Alfredo sauce. Today I was in the mood for like a honey mustard. I think the honey, the mustard, goes really well with the chicken, the ham, and the Swiss cheese. But I like mine with a little bit of a kick, so I'm going to make this myself. I'm going to add a little bit, a couple tablespoons or so of horseradish. That might be a little more than a couple tablespoons, but that's all right. If it's got too much of a kick, then more for me because no one else is going to eat it. All right, then I'm going to do equal amounts of mayonnaise, honey, and mustard. So about a 1/4 cup of each. And I'm probably going to have a little bit left over, which is good because when I made up the chicken strips, I have a little bit of those left over also. So this is a great recipe if you have chicken strips you want to use up. That's what we're using. Make this super simple. You could also use sliced chicken, just like we're going to use the sliced ham, and you could layer it up in there. And it'd be really pretty if you kind of layered it to where whenever you cut it, it looked like a roulade or a roll. That would be really pretty. All right, so I'm just going to make sure I got this mixed up really well. All right, then once I've got this all mixed up, I'm going to toss my, what do you call that thing? Spatula? Scraper. Toss my scraper in there. I'm going to put my basting brush in here. Set that aside for a second. Get out my puff pastry. So this is the brand I buy. It is Weewalka. I guess that's how you say that. And you find it right next to, they also make a pizza dough. So you can find it next to the refrigerated pizza dough, like where you find the biscuits, pie crust, that sort of thing. And I get it at Walmart. I think that's the only place that I've been able to find it. Everywhere else wants to sell the frozen puff pastry. And I like to have that on hand too, just in case I'm out. Sometimes that's hard to find at Walmart. But I like having the refrigerated stuff because if I want to make something on a whim, I don't have to wait for it to thaw out. All right, so I'm going to leave it on the parchment paper that it's on. And then I'm just going to roll this out a little bit. And I'm going to turn it. Roll it again. And then I'm going to do the same thing going sideways. Just make sure I've got a really nice flat surface. Okay. Then I'm going to take some of my honey mustard, run it right down the center, and then I'm going to use my, I was thinking my puff pastry went all the way to here. I think I might have put too much on. I'm just going to use my basting brush though and baste the whole thing with honey mustard. All right, then once we have the whole thing coated in honey mustard, I'm going to take some chicken strips and let's see, we'll try to lay these out so they kind of fill up the whole thing here. Let's see, like that maybe? Yeah, I think that looks good. So I'm just going to lay these right down in here. And make sure they're in the center there. There we go. All right, I think that looks good. One other thing I want to do is, if you watched what we did, what was it, last Friday? We did an almond cream cheese braid. It was a 5-ingredient recipe. I will put the link to that at the end of this video, as well as in the description below. But I showed you guys how to do a braid. So we're going to do the same thing today, except we're only going to do like 4. So I had like a bunch of little strips last time. So just 4 cuts this time. That looks good. Let's scoot this over a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to layer up some ham on top of this. So I'm just using some sliced deli ham. And that's probably pretty good. I want to make sure that I'm able to fold this over so we don't put too much on there. And then we're just going to layer this up with some cheese. So I've got Swiss cheese here. And you know, if you're not into chicken, you can do turkey. I just called this a chicken cordon bleu because these are the traditional ingredients for a chicken cordon bleu, but you could always do a turkey. You could do salami. You can swap these out, different kinds of cheeses, just whatever you like. All right, so I am going to cut a little. No, I think I'm just going to fold it over. Usually I cut a little section out there, but with this honey mustard on there, I think we're just going to fold this over. And I think I'm going to spin this around. I think I might have better luck if I go from the top part. There we go. Try to tuck that underneath. All right, so we're just going to work from side to side. And I think I started at the wrong end. I'm going to back up. I turned it around because I thought it would be better. But I realized my braid's not going to look as pretty if I do that. So let's turn it around again. I'll get it right. So this part goes over. You get a hold of the end piece now. Try to tuck the top in. There we go. And this side, then this side. And it's fine if a little bit's showing. It's just cheese that's going to come out the top, so that's good anyway, right? Oh, no, maybe I should have did the other side. I should have went the other way. I think so. Let's see what we can do here. It should still turn out pretty, though. I hope. Oh, well, good enough, right? We'll try to put this back together. It does not matter. It's puff pastry, so it's going to be delicious either way. All right, so I'm just going to leave it on the parchment paper. And I have got my stone here that I'm just going to transfer this to. And then this is going to go in the oven, 425 degrees for about 20-25 minutes. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Our Stromboli is out of the oven and I am excited to cut this. I did let it cool for about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. If you cut directly into it, as soon as it comes out of the oven, it's going to slide and the cheese and everything's going to go everywhere. I like it when you can cut it and look at that. Look how pretty that is. I am tempted to just put this whole thing in the fridge and not tell anybody I made it. Oh my goodness, let's get a bite of this. That is like the best sandwich you've probably never had. It is so good. And I'm glad I made a little bit of that extra honey mustard because I think it's going to be even better when I have a little bit to dip this in. So anyway, give this a try. Do this on a weekend and make the family think that you spent a lot of time on this because you've seen how easy it is. But it looks really pretty, doesn't it? I think it looks fancy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you next Saturday with another simple recipe. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.